Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Let's see here. We're going to get started on our analysis. Let's just go over to, there we go. All right, and let's get started with we'll start off with the euro dollar as we normally do. So, okay, so as Paul pointed out, and you guys probably remember from yesterday, we're at the 618 retracement. The 618 basically, you'll notice that we're right at 113.70. Okay, we did probe stops below, which you have to now be very careful because if we probe stops below and there's no follow through, that could lead to that bounce, and I'm going to have to redraw that here in a second. That could obviously lead to a bounce back in the euro at some point. All right. Now, if you look at like the hourlies and the four-hour charts, we're not oversold. We're very mid-range, if you will. I personally believe that the dollar is going to continue to strengthen. I think a lot of people don't put enough credit or credence into what they see here in the weekly chart. So I mean, with the weekly candle that you saw, the big reversal from last week, that big, here, let's remove these. I can just redraw them here in a second. The big reversal candles that we saw last week, I think there's a lot more follow through to be had in the euro and other currencies as well. The thing is that we're just kind of we're stalling right now, obviously on a fib, and that fib is the 618, and that's where we currently reside. I believe that we're eventually going to break lower, okay, but it's going to take a little bit of time, and I don't know, and a little bit of it'd be nice if we had some data to really support that. Right now, I don't know if we have the data to really support a continued dollar rally. That's why Paul was mentioning, and I think he's onto something. I don't know how much of a follow through we're going to see because the non-farm payrolls just weren't that strong. Now we do have JOLTS jobs data today. We got some wholesale inventories, but other than that, I mean, it's very all second tier data. But what we probably have to do from here, let's see. If you go to I have to go to the channel bottom, basically our spike low here. That was following the ECB. No, this is the ECB. That was the FOMC. Or is it other way around? I don't know. But anyway, below where we're at, okay, 113. This is a lot of support here. You can see it's a confluence of the 38% retracement of the bigger move, the 786 of the most recent move, and that's going to take us down at 113. So let's just imagine, just because we're sitting on support, let's just imagine we break lower. 113, 113 and 113.10 is going to be pretty key support today. Okay, that's if we end up breaking lower, which the jury is still out. Okay, resistance right now for the euro. Let's figure out what that is, because if we end up getting a false breakdown, then that's gonna obviously create a little bit of a squeeze. I would still love to short the euro at 114.50. I had an order out overnight. I already canceled it. But I'll tell you, if we can get a rally to 114.50, I'm all about shorting the euro up there, just so you know. Okay, so 114.50, that'll be good resistance today, and I think that's going to be a good place to be on the short side of the euro if we can get it. You know, it's all if, if we can get it, and I'm not 100% convinced that we're going to get up there. I hope we get up there. Hope is not a trading strategy. I know you guys have heard me say this before. Hope is not a trading strategy if you're hoping for something to happen to your position that you're in. Hope is a strategy when you are wanting something to happen so you can establish a position. So it's okay to hope. I hope the euro dollar rallies to 114.50 because then I will short it there. If I'm long the euro dollar right now and I'm hoping it goes to 114.50, That's not a good strategy if I'm trading on hope. Okay, unless it's a profitable position. But yeah, if you're in a, you never want to say I hope unless you're just waiting for something to happen. Like I hope that would mean the Greek gods are singing, and you don't want to hear the Greek gods this morning. I'm telling you, I'm just warning you. That's not something that none of us need to hear this morning. All right, hold on. You know what I need to do? Give me a second, please. Give me just a second here. I'm sorry, I have to make an adjustment. You guys have to bear with me. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something on my screen. Okay. Okay. Um, let's go back to our analysis. All right, so here's the cable. Let me get over to the cable. All right, so here's the pound. All right, so as far as the pound goes, the pound's actually been pretty resilient, and you can see that through the euro pound. All right, the euro pound is actually weaker today, and right now the pound dollar is holding up a little bit better. I am not shorting or I'm not shorting. Well, I'm not shorting the cable either, but I'm not really trading the pound. I've not found really any reason to trade the cable just yet. It's not. It's by far. Actually, I could probably say this. It's by far one of my least favorite currencies to trade. I even made a video about it for those of you that know. Um, and realistically, if we got up to like 145.70, which is the 50% retracement, I would be interested on being on the short side up there. So I'll still write that down. 145.70 or 75. Okay, that wouldn't be a bad place to be on the short side, I don't think. Now, support is still 143.75. Okay, you see this is a 50% retracement, but we did spike low, so 143.75 is going to be support. Now, if we break through there, it's probably as a result that the euro dollar is breaking lower. So if the euro dollar starts just cracking below 113.60, more than likely it's going to drive the pound dollar lower as well. Okay, so if you're long the cable, just be very careful. I would watch the euro closely because if the euro breaks lower, it's going to drag that pound down. Hold on. Sorry, just put my headset back on. Wow, Kiwi new lows. My God, and I don't have any long Aussie New Zealand. Oh, this Kiwi is so bearish. You guys know the Kiwi is bearish, and because we have that double top still in play. Still in play. All right, let's go over to the Swissy. Here's the Swissy. And no, I'm not long, which killing me right now. Killing me, Smalls. I mean, look at the Swissy. We're attempting to break out here. No dips, which really is tough. Relative strength is divergent as we make new highs. So at this stage in the game, 97 cents should be really good support. Man, this thing does not want to back off, which stinks because I really want to be long the dollar Swiss. I'm not long. It's the problem. Um, then obviously resistance is right here, and this is big because this is big for a lot of reasons. Because if that breaks, okay, you could almost view this as a double bottom here. Let me remove that dotted line for a second. Um, you could view this as a range extension, even though we went a lot lower here. But if we break higher, I mean, this is kind of along the same lines as the euro dollar. If the euro dollar starts to break below that 113.60 or 113.50, you know, the Swissy could take out 98 cents, and then, you know, next thing you know, we're at parity. And the thing about the dollar, and I want to point this out. Let's go over here, right here. The thing about the dollar, and of course I'll do my analysis on the dollar too. It's not letting you in. Do you understand? That's the biggest issue with the dollar right now. It's not letting you in. You can't get in. If you're short, you can't get out. There's no dips. I mean, yeah, the dips are 20 pips here and 30 pips there, but you can't get in. You can't get out of your shorts. You can't get long. It's like near impossible. All right, and that's the problem with the Swissy, and that's why it could squeeze, because it's going to start squeezing because people have to chase it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So anyway, 98 cents. If that breaks, oops, 98. If that breaks, it's going to rip. All right. Let's go over to the dollar yen. All right, here's dollar yen. Now, Paul, he doesn't think that we can get up to, you know, up to 111. I think we're in a down channel, and the thing about the dollar yen, it's very similar to the other dollar pairs. It's just not letting you in. Like okay, every night for the last 5 trading days, which means going into Wednesday of last week, like Wednesday night, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. So basically 4 nights for me. I've put in orders to buy the dollar cheaper for everything. Like short the euro when it gets to 114.50. Buy the dollar Canadian at 127.50. Buy the dollar Canadian at 128. I put in orders to buy the dollar every single night, and I cannot get in. Like there's no dip for me to get into. So if you ask me, hey Blake, why can the dollar continue to go higher? There's no data coming out today because it's going to squeeze. Because do you remember us talking about, how many of you guys remember us talking about the boat? Do you guys remember the boat? Do I have to do the boat again? Okay. Okay. I have to do the boat. Sorry, guys. So there's this boat, all right? There's this boat. Looks like this. Oops. That's a pretty crappy looking boat. Hold on. Hold on. Let's try this again. Okay, so we got a boat, right? We got this boat. All right. Here's a boat. There we go. There's the boat. That's me on the boat. That's me. Okay. And we had a few people on the boat, right? This is the dollar ship, by the way. right? This is the dollar ship. We had all these people on the boat. You know what happened last week? The boat was so choppy that people fell off the boat. Ah, no, yeah, they fell in the water. Ooh, everybody fell off the boat. Right now, the ship is sailing. The ship is sailing, and it dropped off a lot of people. It left me, left you, left everybody else, fell off the ship, right? And there's only a couple people on the boat. See, the number of longs in the dollar right now, the number of longs in the dollar at the moment is at the lowest levels that we've seen since 2014. So the amount of longs that are on the dollar boat right now are about the same number that were on there. Do you know what happened when everybody tried to get on the boat? That happened, right? So now, here we are, fast forward 2 years later, we're here, we're at the same amount of longs in the dollar that were long right there. That means everybody's going to try to get back on the boat again, all right? Some of you guys may still be in the boat, or at least I think I'm dangling from like a buoy that is dangling off the side of the boat because I happen to be long some US dollar Swedish krona and US dollar Norwegian krona, but I'm still trying to climb on the boat right now. And the thing is no one can get on the boat. That's what I'm trying to tell you. No one can get on the boat because I keep putting in buy orders every night. Every night for the last 4 nights, I've been trying to short the euro at 114.50, short the Kiwi at 68 cents last night. I had to cancel that one too. Buy the dollar Canadian at 127.50. That ain't happening. I'm gonna have to chase the stupid Canadian boat up to 132.50. Do you know that? I was talking to one of my buddies, and when we were at 120, we were at 126, and he goes, and remember when I sold the Canadian? I bought it here. I sold it at 126.50, right around where my cursor is. I said, hey, you still long the Canadian? He's like, yeah, I'm still long the Canadian. I said, okay, I just booked some profits. He goes, so what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to buy it back down at 126, or I'm going to have to buy it again at 127.50. Well, guess what? We're at 130 and I still don't own it. Okay? So the problem is not just a Blake problem. The problem is an everybody problem. Like everybody's trying to get on the boat right now, and the boat's leaving. And so now we're gonna have to swim really fast to catch up to the boat. That's the dollar boat right now. So when you look at the dollar yen, you look at this dollar yen. Look, it just screams higher. Like when you get this bar right here, this red bar. Okay, what are you thinking right there? I'm thinking, all right, well, we're going to pull back to 107.50. That would be normal. We're going to pull back to We're going to pull back to 107.50, and then we're going to bounce off of support, and then we're going to rally again, right? That's what you would think. Well, of course that's what you think. But what happens is the stupid thing takes off again, doesn't let you in. So if you don't think we can go up here, I strongly disagree. I think this market's squeezing. Okay, 618 should give us a problem today. 109.45 fee 5 faux foam. 109. Make sure I got the right number here. 109.46, 109.50. There's no way to get in. No way to get in. Stupid ship took off without us. Right? Yeah, we're in a big range. Just because we happen to be bullish intraday doesn't mean that, that longer term we're bullish. We're going to be in a range environment on all these pairs. All right, dips. So any dip down to 108.60 now, buyers that are trying to get on the boat are going to jump on the boat. Okay? 108.60. Canadian. Same thing. Stupid Canadian keeps taking off with us. Look at how shallow the dips are. It doesn't even matter. Crude oil bounced. What did you see? Crude went from, hold on. Crude went from 43 to $46. Do you know what the dollar Canadian did? Do you know what the dollar Canadian did when that happened? The dollar Canadian did this. Did this. Crude oil went from 43 to $46, and the dollar Canadian came down that much, which is, what is that? 100 pips? You kidding me, dude? What's going to happen if crude oil falls? If crude oil breaks through like 42.50, this dollar Canadian is going to sit up at 132.50, the 38% retracement. It's not pulling back. If you once you have been around for a while, you start to learn how to read price action. I'm just teaching you guys how to read price action right now. When it's not pulling back, when pullbacks are minimal, the chances of a continuation are very, very high. $28.90, 130. 128.90, 130. Major resistance. I know we probed above it, but this Kiwi is a piece of junk. We got a double top in play, and I'm not even short. I shorted it yesterday. I made a whopping, what? I shorted it at 68 or above 68, like 68.10. I covered it at 68.80 right here yesterday, and then I put in an order to sell overnight at 68. Not even close. Like nowhere to be found. So I'll tell you today, if we get a rally back to 68 cents, I am a seller. But I would not be surprised if we just slumped all the way to 66.50 without stopping. That wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to put it bearish for right now just because we have a double top in play. But if we can get back to 68 cents, I'm a seller. Just so you know, if we rally back to 68 cents, I'm a seller up there. All right, I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna go get some more coffee. I gotta wake up my oldest son. Poor kid. He had a baseball playoffs last night. We didn't get home till late, and he's got to get up and do a few hours worth of homework. Poor kid. I'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. We have no news coming out, so I'll be back in a few. Thanks. Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the you're listening to excuse me. You're listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Let's wrap up these pairs, okay? So, by the way, the euro's back below 113.70. Still trading pretty heavy here. We got to go into the Aussie. So the Aussie's holding up pretty well. Last night, Chinese producer prices came in a little hotter than expected. That could be the reason why the Aussie's a little stronger. I think a lot of the cross rate effect of the Aussie New Zealand is having a positive effect on the Aussie, at least for right now. So the Aussies bounce back a little. Now, as most of you know, we've been kind of scouting out this head and shoulder pattern on the Aussie, and the neckline, or this support right here which is huge, by the way. This is a big breakout point. This yellow line here, big breakout point. That previous resistance support is going to be big on the way back up. So I mean, any move back up to 74.15 is, it's a selling opportunity. The question is, do we get up there? That's the big question. We're in a big range. I'm not a big head and shoulder pattern guy, but that is still in a head and shoulder pattern. Completion takes us all the way down to here to 71.20. So between now and the 70 between 74 cents and down to 71, it's probably more bearish than anything. Actually, I should probably just put this on for right now. We're in such big ranges on all these pairs that if I don't select bullish or bearish, more near term, we're going to just sit in a range environment the whole time. So support comes in at 72.50, so that is going to be pretty big support on the way down. All right, and then we have 72.10, which is a big 618. I would suspect that we're getting close to some fib extensions here. So high to low. Yeah, okay, so the 161% extension comes in right here at 72.70. So you got 72.70, 72.50. I'm going to write down 72.70 just because it is a 161% extension. For those of you that are shorty the Aussie, just be aware of that number, that level. Okay. Let's go to the dollar index. Excuse me really quick. Foot was itching. Okay, dollar index. So here's the dollar index. And I was explaining to you guys the whole boat thing. I mean, look, we just can't, we're just not able to get in. I mean, the dollar index just continues to rally. All right. Next resistance is going to be here at 94.50, which is 78% retracement. So here, let's delete that. We don't need that. While we're above, and let's zoom in a little. Whoops, went the wrong way. Okay. While we're above that, it's still squeezing. So that's 94, 94.50. Okay. Dollar index support is at 94. Resistance at 94.50. None of it's very key. Whoops, 94.50, 94.50. We're in a range. Okay, let's go over to the peso. So the peso, you guys got to watch this bad boy. This thing is so strong. I actually almost considered buying the dollar peso a little while ago. I didn't, but I'm strongly considering it. I mean, this thing is just bonkers strong. I almost bought it earlier this morning at 8.12. I was thinking about it, and then I didn't do it. I was just about ready to sell some euros. Sorry, I'm just looking at the euro dollar. I'm considering just shorting some and just staying in it. Hold on. I sold some at 73. Because I just feel that it's a very small position. If we hit new lows, I'm going to add. Just put it that way. I'm basically selling some euro just to have some euro exposure, short euro exposure right now. Okay, let me put in my stops. Just bear with me. Okay. I sold a little bit of euro at 73, and like I said, what I'm going to do is if the euro dollar hits new lows from here, if it hits new lows from here, I'm going to add, because then I'm going to target 113 on the way down. Okay. All right. Just letting you guys know. All right, back over to the peso. So the peso, you got to watch this bad boy. I still believe that the peso is going towards 815. We're almost to 18, excuse me, 1850. We're almost to 18 and a quarter, which, obviously is very big, very big resistance. I think the bigger resistance is going to be 1850, 1855, which I'm really excited about shorting the dollar peso somewhere up there. But if this market gets risk averse, it's going to come in through the U.S. dollar Mexican peso. So 1827 is resistance, and I think any dip now to 18. Oops. Hold on. It's 1827. I mean, I don't want to write down support being at 1780 because I don't think we're going to get down there. That's why. See if we can double top here. That'd be the neckline. 1822 to 1807. Yeah, maybe we can dip to 1796. It's possible. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. It's the 618. So 1796, just in case we dip like that. Okay, let's go over to the Norwegian krona. So the Norwegian krona just got batted down because the crude oil is bouncing. And by the way, crude oil is on its 200-day moving average. If you didn't know, it's on the front month contract. Whew, sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We're right on the 200-day moving average on here. This is why if crude breaks down, here's the June contract. The 200-day moving average is here, but if crude breaks down, see we have this head and shoulder pattern. If we break down to whatever the measured move would be, that takes us to 39.50 if it plays out. So to 39.50, I mean you're talking a pretty big move. That means that U.S. dollar Norwegian krona will probably rip through 825. 825 is key resistance right here. Critical. I'm going to add an alert. Okay. So basically, if it breaks above that resistance, then my alarm will go off. Hopefully I hear it. If I don't have my headset on, then I don't. But okay, so support. This is the channel. So if we come back and retest that channel, that'll be at 816. Okay. 816. And resistance is 8.25. It's major resistance. We're in a range, but this thing will threaten to turn bullish back in the direction of its longer term trend, you know, if it breaks. All right, let's go over to the Swedish krona. Swedish krona is getting close to pushing up against its resistance here and breakout point. That's at 818. Same numbers as yesterday. I'm just going to move this over. $803, 818. Here, let's set up an alarm here. Oops. Okay, so that comes in at 818. I'm long both of them, just so you know. Small, but I wouldn't mind adding. 803.818. Okay. And just remember, longer term, here's a weekly. That's a big hammer. You can see that buyers came in this week already. The dip early this week, has just ripped us up to high. So right up back towards resistance. It's going to be big, especially if it can break. If it can break this 818, I know a lot of you guys don't trade the Swedish krona, but if we break above this, we're probably going to move fairly quickly. Yeah, that's wow, that's a 38% retracement right there. So we should see 8.25 really fast if it breaks. Okay? Okay. Your bias chart's done. There it is in all of its glory. All right, let's get to your questions.